Wala, in the southern part of Pakistan, one of the poorest areas in the Punjab. We are from the Gujars, a peasant tribe of low caste. Like other girls, I played with dolls and climbed trees, but all daughters must learn special jobs so that they can be useful to the family. I was taught to do embroidery. People would bring fabric to me, and I would design and sew their shirts and trousers. I also like to plant flowers. That is something I still love to do. Last year, I also started some flowers and lemon trees. But the goats came. They ate up all the mango and lemon trees, so I replanted them. But the goats came again and again. They did not know that I am just as stubborn as they are. Whatever they do, I am going to keep on with the plantings, and one day I think the goats will just give up and my trees will have the victory. There was no school in my village. No one in my family knew how to read or write. I had learned the things that my mother had learned and her mother before her. How to do housework, fetch water from the pump, make chapatis, hang the clothing to dry on the palm trees. I did not have any idea that girls in other places were being educated. I did not know that I had been taught nothing about the world. No. I was taught something. All girls were. I was taught silence. I was taught fear. I was taught that some people are high up while others are inferior. I learned to hide my face, to bow my head, to submit, to agree, to obey my parents and stay away from the boys. That is all what I knew. But time caught me. It gave me a lesson.
The war in Vietnam. We never thought it would come to Cambodia. We are listening to the Beatles. And then it came. My mother and father took me on the plane to France. I left the family. I was 18. I was so desperate. Like, this river is bending. Which rock do I hang on to? There was no rock. And it was going very fast. I never went back. From innocent teenager to a refugee. Hopeless and orphan.
If you start from 1980 in Afghanistan, where I was born, I was there until the age of 9. We had everything. But because my father was a doctor, we were in danger. He tried to help too many women and children crowding into our house under Russian rocket fire, until the day there came a hole into our living room. We had to flee Kabul and flee the Russians, and then to flee the Taliban in 1993. We panicked by the thousands that time, pushing to escape, no transportation. All the roads were closed or blown up. We saw some people drenched with blood, not from their own wounds, but from walking over the bodies of the dead. We could only crouch down in the sewers until there was ceasefire. How could I know my family would live in a Pakistani refugee camp for 15 years? The best years of my youth?
My husband and I are on our first vacation in years, in Finland. We go mountain skiing and he says, I go take nap. And suddenly I realize his nap is getting too long. When I find him, he is still alive. But in the emergency room, they are not able to save him. Heart attack. He's 37 and I am 33. And he was the only one at the time who was understanding and supporting my mission. I am alone. I wonder, do I have the strength to do this work?
My mother, my brother, and me lived together in a small, dark room. From a little window, I could look out and see my mother cooking. I still remember, I was very young, watching her stooped over a pot cooking a meal for us. Each night we eat black beans, frijoles with tortillas. I saw a woman go over to our little outdoor kitchen and throw dirt in the pot my mother was stirring. Our family's food for the day was damaged, our only meal. And my mother began to sob. I was young, but I knew I wanted to get out of that world. A world where the woman being so angry and hopeless they throw dirt in your food. Or like my mother, always in the silence, praying and crying. It is this beginning of my life that is responsible for my way of being.
The city of Derry is on a hill with walls surrounding the town and cannons overlooking the town square. And at the bottom of the hill is the collection of streets known as the Bogside. Long ago it was for the very poor, Catholics coming in from rural areas, the poorest of the poor. Families lived in one room, the damp coming down the walls. I remember being told, looking down at the Bogside from the hill of McGee,
"You don't go down there."
And now I am married to a Catholic from down there. It was the summer of '68 when we met. I went to London, I walk into a bar, and there is this man with a Derry accent selling drinks. I buy a drink and I'm still married to him. Listening to him talk about the North, I began to glimpse it utter darker world. He was much more politically aware. We hitched to Portugal. On the TV at the youth hostel, we saw the first huge civil rights demonstrations in Derry. I saw my husband's face go white. People were beaten off the street. We hitched straight back home. I was in the same physical landscape, but I'd crossed over into another world.
Some men of the Mastui tribe come to our home and say that my 12-year-old brother, Shakur, has committed zina with a girl from their clan and will go to jail. This crime that they put on Shakur means sex or rape before marriage and is punishable by death. My family is sure this accusation is false, and later we find out that we are right. My little brother is the one who has been raped, and by the same men who are laying blame on him. But what can we do? The Mastuis are a higher caste than we are. They are landowners, so whatever they say is the law. The men of the Jirga, our village council, meet to discuss the situation and decide that I, Mukhtar, must ask for forgiveness for my brother. If this will free him, I am happy to do it. It is twilight when I start walking toward the farm of the Mastuis, holding my prayer book to my breast. My father and uncle go with me. We enter their compound with its high walls. The clan chief, Faz Muhammad, and 4 other men holding rifles are standing behind him. And behind them are many more men of their tribe. I lay down my shawl as a sign of submission.
ऐ अल्लाह, मैं आपकी पनाह में आती हूँ। बला की मुशक्कत और बदबख्ती के मिलने से और बुरे फैसले से और दुश्मनों के खुश होने से। या अल्लाह, मैं आपकी पनाह में आती हूँ। आपकी दी हुई रहमत के ज़ाहिर होने और आपकी दी हुई आफियत के बदल जाने।
Praise be to Allah, Rabbil Alameen, the compassionate King of the Day of Reckoning. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Guide us onto the right path. Ameen. Then I look at Faz and say, if my brother has offended you, I beg pardon for his action and beseech you to set him free. Faz glares at me with wild eyes, and now I understand. He will not forgive our family. He wants only to humiliate someone. And as always, it will be a woman. But never did I imagine what happened next.